one of the biggest arguments action figure collectors have with each other, well, WWE wrestling figure collectors have with each other, is Jakks versus Mattel. They are, while they both made WWE figures at one time or another, you know, there are massive significant changes between the two. One thing that is really different is the no, Albert, get out of here. is the body molds. So let's take a look at two I have of Jakks and Mattel, and I know that they're not exactly the same, but they kind of are. And that is a Mattel Hulk Hogan, that's Signature Series Hulk Hogan, and the Jakks TNA Deluxe Aggression Hulk Hogan, or Deluxe Impact Hulk Hogan, sorry. One thing you're going to notice right away is a significant height difference. Look at the size of Hulk Hogan, the Jakks Hulk Hogan compared to the Mattel. These are, no, I'm not lying. Let's line them up back to back here, just so you get a sense of the height. Now, for a kid, this wouldn't matter, but to a collector, that means scale is everything right now. One thing Mattel did really well when they started was the scale of the figures. Now, Hulk Hogan is accurate to other figures in the set or in the series. However, the TNA figures all stay the same, which means Abyss is the same height as Hulk Hogan, Mr. Kennedy, Christopher Daniels, Sting, Sabu, whatever, even though Sabu is not, but whatever, who cares. Or Shark Boy. Another thing you're going to notice right away are the arm differences. It looks like Hulk Hogan does steroids again. Look at that. Look how balloonish his arms are compared to the Mattel. The Mattel, they exaggerate, but not as bad as Jakks. You see that? I'm not going to show a difference in articulation because that really wouldn't be fair in this situation unless I had Elite 34 Hulk Hogan, which I don't because that series never came to my area. I had to buy Page online. But one thing Jakks does better, somewhat, are head sculpts. Now, the size of the head sculpt is a completely different story, but the detail of the head sculpt remains the same. Mattel's is a bit weaker. I don't know if it's gonna, there we go. Mattel's is a bit weaker compared to Jakks. Look at Jakks Hulk Hogan. That is an amazing head sculpt. I mean, I don't know how you would want that Mattel. Look at the Mattel, it's so cartoony. It's not even funny. But the difference is they've got detail on the bandana compared to where Hulk Hogan's is just black. Now, I don't know if that's the way he wore it in TNA, but that's what we're looking at here. So we look at the one thing that I can compare between these two are pant details. Now, Jakks pants, obviously they look like pants. I don't have the Deluxe Impact Bully Ray, but that's a good example of pants molds that they did right, I believe. But the Impact, the Jakks pants, they have more detail than the Mattel ones, and they look more like pants. Whereas Mattel's are bell bottoms, or at least that's what collectors call them, and they don't have very much detail. Yeah, you could point out that they did get the silver belt buckle, but compared to TNA's, but that's not that doesn't really matter. Like, there's no stitching on the side, there's nothing on the back, it's just a random belt. The Jakks has a belt, and it also has back pockets. It has stitching on the side. I don't know if you can see that. Looks like it's focusing on my closet. But yeah. Tattoos. This looks like... Hang on here. Let's see if we can get it. Probably not. I'm way too far in. But it looks... They both look about the same. The Mattel is a little darker, so it's a lot better. Obviously, since you can't take the shirt off, you can't tell the Immortal tattoo that's there. The bandana sculpt is almost the same, but it's not. This is a random bandana sculpt. But this isn't really comparing Hulk Hogan. This is really comparing Jakks and Mattel. Overall, Mattel nails it. They get the scale right, and that's what's really important. They often exaggerate on the features of the wrestler, but that's fine. Another example I have is women, but I'm not going to do that because they are pretty evenly matched there. However, let's take a look at another funny example, which is Hornswoggle. Here's the Jakks Hornswoggle. Here's the Mattel Hornswoggle. Now, this is about the same time period. This is, I think this is 08, 09, and this is 10. Now, this is the, I think they used, I don't think they made a Dink, the clown, but whatever. We'll take a look at the hats here, and the detail of the hats. Mattel often skimps on, details of the stitching or whatever for, other things in it, of scale. But we look at the Jakks hat here. It doesn't look like it wants to zoom in, does it? But there's actually stitching in here. It's actually individual stitches, which is really nice. The Mattel is just a solid band of orange with green. Take a look at the Jakks here, and there's obvious staining from the hat being on too long. And the feet are really small. With the Mattel, the feet are really in scale. If you look at it, it's in scale to the figure. Take a look at the sides, and the feet are so small. I don't really know. I prefer the Mattel in this situation. Looking at the back of the jacket here, it's like they just shrunk down a regular size one. But there's more detail, on the Mattel one, including on the face, which is really nice. In this situation, I would choose the Mattel as well, because the Jakks just seems cartoony in a sense. Now, I can compare to you the articulation of the Hornswoggles. Over here, they have its basic Jakks articulation, where it's just that. But Mattel's, you can swerve it out, up, down, up, back. The leg articulation is the same. There's an upward hinge here. I mean, the Mattel just blows them out of the water. And for once, they actually add a detail in the hair for the Mattel. And that's what makes this Hornswoggle really awesome compared to the Jakks one, which isn't... They added detail, but you really can't tell. But these are about the same. Damn it, now he doesn't want to stand up. They're about the same, but if you were to buy a Hornswoggle, I would highly suggest the Mattel one, just because of the detail of it. So Mattel wins that round. Mattel wins this round with Hulk Hogan. And another thing is, look at the scale of the figures. Now, they kept Hornswoggle in scale of it, and thank God they did, unlike they did with Rey Mysterio. So, that's my basic Jakks and Mattel comparison. What do you guys think? What do you prefer? I prefer Mattel most of the time, but I don't think... Well, maybe if you give them a few more years, we might see more Legends out of it. But right now, I'm all Mattel. I do have a big Jakks collection over here, so don't think that I don't like Jakks. Or I would have got rid of it. I have a pretty big TNA collection as well, so that's pretty fun. But yeah, if you like what you saw, you could comment, rate, and subscribe for more.